Safe Space Live and Safe Space TV. I am so honored to be back with you today. We got a very special episode. Have you always felt like the marketing tips that you received centered white people over black people? You ever felt like you're forced to put on white face just to move in your particular market or industry? Well, I have a good friend, Avery McDougle. He's on the show today, and he has created the book, Stop Marketing Like Your Audience is White. He is going to set us free to be who we really are, but to framework it in a way that works for your product, your business, or whatever you got going on. Now, Avery is the founder of Correct Strategies. He's been in the marketing space for 18 years, based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And so when I found out that he wrote this book, I said, you must come on this channel so that we can stop marketing like our audience are crackers. All right. So, so let's give Mr. Avery McDougle a warm, safe space welcome. Go ahead and drop 3 green hearts in the comments. How are you doing today, Avery?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. What got you in the marketing space?
Very interesting. Starting off in college, you were like, what am I good at? What do I want to do? Of course, as Black folks, they push, become a doctor, become a lawyer, and none of that was fitting me. I was a creative person and I stumbled across public relations. And then from public relations, I decided, hey, I need some money, and marketing paid the bills, and I fell right in line with marketing. And so far, I love the data side and the creative side of marketing.
Yeah, I don't think that people truly understand that marketing is a leg in its own. You know, just putting up a flyer in and of itself is not marketing. Can you very quickly sort of highlight what is marketing in its most simplest form?
That's a good question and it can be tough, so I can break it down because
Sure, go ahead.
marketing has a lot of cross disciplines, as people say, communications, PR, but marketing is a science. A lot of people say a science. Marketing is really looking at numbers, looking at how do we make people move? How do we make people adopt something or to believe they need something? Whereas if you think about communications, communications is telling the story, but marketing is really getting people to move their seats and to move their butts into seats and really understanding the science behind behavior.
So marketing, would that be a like hook, pitch, call to action, that kind of framework?
Yeah, it's all behind the scenes. It's a lot of research. It's really knowing your audience. It's more than just the create. Most people think of marketing, oh, it's a fun to do. It's easy. I'm creative. I can come up with a theme, but you really got to understand the science and the mechanism of by like how does Hill audience respond to something? If you say cracker, if I say soda cracker, you say cracker, or the N word. How does that make me feel? How does it make me respond? In marketing, we go a step farther. Sometimes marketers, we study people's trash. You're like, why do you study people's trash? If I study your trash, I can tell a lot about you and build a profile. Or do you eat out? Are you single? Are you on this? Are you healthy? So all those different things that we do in our everyday lives, that's what marketing studies, and that's how we're better to sell to our communities and people different products.
That's so interesting. One of the challenges that I've had, Avery, is how do I get this data? So, for example, of course, YouTube has its analytics, 18 to 35, black, female, but my assumption is it goes way deeper than that. How does the average person get this data on who their audience is, what makes them tick, what doesn't make them tick, without spending thousands of dollars for consulting?
You won't. Good question. That's oxymoron double. As a consultant, you won't necessarily get it. You won't necessarily get it all on your own.
Hmm.
But even the high level analytics you may get from YouTube or Facebook, you need to look at it and say, what story is it telling me? A lot of marketers, a lot of people, they come in marketing with preconceived notions. You may have a preconceived notion. I know my audience. I know my listeners. But do you really know your audience and listeners? Have you really spoken to your audience and listeners? Have you really start developing data for yourself? Or for your instance, you may say, hey, my live listeners come on at 8:30 in the evening time. If I put a show on at 7:30, no one's coming on at 7:30. So that tells me right away I need to start at 8:30 or later. So you can look at basics, look at patterns, but a good consultant will really help you just kind of streamline things and help you more hone in. There's nothing wrong with doing it yourself, but it's
Mhm,
all about a good partnership. Think about healthcare.
mhm.
We
Yeah.
have specialists for different things. A lot of things we know to do. We know to exercise. We know to get up, but we have that doctor to push us, to tell us, to uncover different things. And so that is the beauty of marketing consultants. But I tell anyone, know the basics. If you know the basics, you can get farther along. So many people, even when I wrote this book, they looked at it from a high level perspective, or this is what I was taught in school. This is marketing. Marketing is a one size fit all for any organization or program, and it truly is not.
Mhm, mhm. Got it. Got it. So basically, what you're saying is if you get the simple data, 18 to 35, male, female, educated, black, white, you pretty much have a good framework to build some kind of data system off of or something like that.
Correct. That's a good framework. You may take it a little bit further, and it may even take you like you get the framework, but you have to look at things over time. You can't just say, hey, I pulled the numbers for the week of April, but am I looking at it over 1 month, 2 month, 3 months time so you can really see patterns? Because a lot of people do surveys, but surveys, depending on how you draft the surveys, can skew what you want them to say. And so you have to be careful in how you collect the data, when you're collecting the data, and who's asking the questions for the data. Because a
Mhm.
lot of times, if you're going out there, they're going to answer your questions how you want them to answer it, but you're not getting truly the true data. So part of marketing is learning how to remove yourself from the equation and putting your consumer hat on and saying, let me look at this from a consumer perspective, not from Avery the marketer or Susie the plumber, the lawyer, different things of that nature, but from the consumer that is producing your, not producing, hearing your content.
Tracking, tracking. We're going to get into the book. We're going to get into the book, but I want to ask just about uh, the black, not only the black consumer, but the black tastemaker, if you will. Do you feel that black people tend to not put enough money in the science of business more than the inspiration of business?
Yes, in some sense. But let me take it back a little bit. The book, although addresses Black people, but it goes even farther and not just, a black or white thing. It's really about, who you're talking with and not looking at your business from one lens. But as a Black consumer, yes, we need to really look at the science of marketing and not just look at the creative side of marketing. Because as Black consumers, we figure, hey, we went viral. I'm popular. Oh, I'm good, but does your product really solve an issue? Are people really responding to you? Is
Mhm.
it a longevity issue? Because you can get something that's popular for 1 week, but what happens the next day and the next day? And so when we
Right.
look at our majority audiences and their businesses compared to some of our businesses, we fall down because we go for the short term rewards instead of the long term. And so marketing, knowing the patterns and different things will help you look at the long term patterns to sustain your business for generations versus for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, because I was able to monetize this platform with just a couple of 8,000 subscribers and two private communities, more than probably the person who has 8,000 subscribers like me, and they're trying to get the viral video. And so, with between text messages and emails and funnels and bringing people in and certain connections, you don't have to be viral to make money. As a matter of
And
fact,
you just
oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Uh-huh.
you just said something unbeknownst to yourself. Although you had 8,000 people following you, you knew your audience. You were able to, I never could say that word, you know what I'm trying to say.
Monetize, yes.
Yeah,
Right,
from your audience through the channel communities. A lot of times in marketing, especially as minorities, we think we have to be big. We
right.
think, oh, I have to have 1 million followers. Okay. No, it does not. You may have 200 people, are they really strong? Are those 200 people become your brand ambassadors to help grow your brand? And so, but as long as you know your audience, you continue to grow, you continue to add other platforms, your audience will continue to grow, and your early adopters will stay with you and help your business flourish. And that's all through really dedicated marketing, whether you realize it or not.
Absolutely. I would rather have 200 strong supporters than 20,000 subscribers any day. Because you're not guaranteed with just the 20,000 subscribers that anyone is going to go, that any of those 20,000 are going to be hard headstrong for you. It might be 50 of them that's going to buy everything you do and go to the highest level of your private community. And so I like the Gideon approach, where you just, let's narrow this army down to 300 of the most skilled folk, and let's move this puppy, versus trying to be viral and all you have is virility and no money tea. I hope that you're enjoying friend of the show, Avery McDougle, as we discuss his book, Stop Marketing Like Your Audience is White. If you want to connect more with this platform, text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658. Text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658. If you want to join my email community, we're about to start that back up. Click the Linktree link in the video description box of the video you're watching now. Please support this platform by sending $10 to the SafeSpace Cash App, and that is $SafeSpaceVTH, $SafeSpaceVTH. Every and anything else I have going on, click the Linktree link in the video description box. As well, you can join the $9.99 community I've been hooting and hollering about in this video. One more thing, we're going to be live right after this, okay? Avery and I will be live right after this stream to join you all, ask questions, talk, have the conversation. So if you have any questions for Avery, hold them, because after this pre-recorded interview, we'll be coming on live on this exact stream. Let's get into the book real quick. I won't even ask any more questions. Let's get into the book real quick. The book is divided up into 4 parts. Part 1, Stop the Nonsense, What's Broken. Tell me about it.
So that one is kind of talking about some of the generic faces. The first chapter in that area is name the fails, count the cost. So token faces are not strategy. We've all been there. You know, we've seen campaigns where, like, are we been hired? Hey, let's hire the one black person. Let's put a black person in this picture. Or even some big consumers like Target, not consumers, retailers, they may put black faces on things, but they really do not care about our people. They're really not trying to market to them. They'll just put a black face to sell it. So that is something that I say, stop the nonsense, because you're not talking to my community. You're talking at the community and not with it. And we are consumers. We know when you have that one black face. You've been in situations, I've been in situations, I'm the only black. I had a job recently where I got hired. They quickly, I want to take your picture. I want to put you into the funding request. I'm like, well, why? Then I finally realized, I'm that black face. Now they can talk about we're into diversity. We have minorities. And I'm like, you're trying to sell my blackness, but I'm the only one at the table, or I'm the only one on the brochure. And so I'm like, that is not genuine. And people they can sense when things are not genuine. And then the other title is Intentions Don't Pay the Rents. It's kind of, you have to think about it. It's like, we have good intentions, but are you really looking after our audiences? What are you really doing to really bring the money in? You know, I'm not going to give all the kid and caboodle for the book, but the titles, there's something to really make you think. And the last one is Stop Recycling Stock Photos and Stereotypes. You've seen it, like 10 different campaigns use the same black people, the same stereotype. They went to Getty. This is the person. So they're not going to the community and say, hey, if I'm going after a Hispanic crowd, can I take pictures of different Hispanic, not that one Hispanic, or even that one safe Negro that we see on 50 different ads, in a sense, because it breeds impersonal.
Absolutely, absolutely. Something I want to throw in there. Let's talk about AI real quick, because as AI is unfolding right before us, I'm noticing a lot of graphics that's created. AI is using the same color base, the same kind of, I can see a design and tell, oh, that's AI. As well, the scripts that AI produces for us content creators are those who are creating commercials or voiceovers or whatever. Like, excuse my French, Avery, but I need to say this to my audience. Don't let AI take the nigga out of what you're doing. Now, what do I mean by that? Like, especially us as Black people, we naturally create soul. We're so filled in all that we do. And if we keep on allowing AI to A to Z without our soul input, we're going to end up being white adjacent.
Just to add to that, that's so true. And AI has been known for biases against Black people, and a lot of times we don't realize to the content and different things. And let me share a personal experience. When I was working with the publisher, doing my imagery for the book, they decided, well, let's do some imagery, put some AI, and I was like, no, I don't want this person. This person's not Black. And they just darkened the lady up. So, oh, she's Black now. It's like, no, this is like a Indian woman or different thing. I had to kind of fight even with my images of what they're presenting to me. I was like, these are two or three of the same people. I want a Black person, a Black woman with natural hair. And he said, what does it matter? I said, this is why I wrote the book, because you just disrespected me in my face. I understand the AI, because a lot of us, and you'll see this in the book, we'll take AI and think it's the Bible. But even with AI, how you input your research, how you put the information will help you get the outtake that you need. If you take the first pass, then you're doing yourself a disservice. AI is very useful, but even in your marketing, I have many people now, oh, I'm not going to invest in marketing. I'm not going to do this. I'll let AI do this for me. But then AI is missing the point. It doesn't know your audience and different things of that nature. And then you're in worse shape than what you are, because now your consumer is saying you're not authentic. You're just using AI, and you got to learn how to trick AI. You still use it, because I use it, but there's a way to trick it to get what you need.
You need to understand the language of who you're marketing in front of. And I want to flip the script. I've worked with a lot of churches, and I noticed that sometimes Black churches will play a certain kind of music on their shorts or reels or whatever that you will never hear when you go to the church. It'd be some old, Maverick City music. But then when you go to the church, it's and I would tell them, I said, listen, why are you playing that? Ain't the people that listen to Maverick City is not going to enjoy your Black Pentecostal experience. All right. And so I also want to encourage folks that are of color, Black Americans that are marketing, don't feel like you have to be white adjacent to be excellent, especially if that's not your audience anyway. Not right if white isn't your audience.
And then if I can add something to the book title. Some people say, why that title? It is kind of powerful. It is controversial. But I want a lot of us to think, and sometimes we as Black people fall into the default audience as well, that we have to be careful. We've been trained, you have to have Formula A, B, or C. You have to do this or that. And so we get trapped. And I even speak about that in the book. So it's just not a white person saying, but it's when you think about diversity, diversity is more than just skin color. So it is my thought color. But sometimes a lot of us have been culturally conditioned. We've been educated in PWIs. I was educated in a primary white institution. And so sometimes we think like that, and we don't take our community in heart. I'll give you another example. I live in the city of South Fulton in Atlanta. Our police force is going viral now. And you're like, why is
Oh,
the police force going viral?
yeah. Say
Their
twin.
social media,
Right.
yeah, their social media page understood. There's a lot of people say, oh, you're ghetto, there's that. How dare you talk about it? And the police were like, look, before we start talking like the people,
Mm-hmm.
we got maybe 200 views.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting 500,000 views. People
Mm-hmm.
across the country, people are going to their page, finding out what's going on in the community. They're more engaged, community policing. But you saw what they just did. They really talked the language of the people. No, they weren't trying to Some people just try to be cool, but they really embrace the language. They still have their professionalism when they need to, but they found a need and they found a way to talk to the people, and that's why their campaign is so successful. Yes, you're going to get they broke the mold, and that's what you got to do when you do in marketing, not that traditional I'm a professional white guy mold.
Right. What I hear you saying, and I want to say this for the audience that's watching, Avery, is that you have to know the language of your audience. And if you are tone deaf, you are not going to be as efficient as you want to be in marketing. So, for example, my audience don't mind me saying nigga and cracker. And I know that. And if that was an issue, I wouldn't do it. And so I know the language of my very pro-black audience. Now, maybe your audience, Avery, won't rock with it, but your audience is not my audience, which says to me that a great deal of marketing on the kind of solopreneur journey is truly understanding and being okay with who you are. Because a lot of people get marketing wrong because they've even gotten their own identity wrong. You're really ghetto and you do well with the ghetto crowd, but you don't. But you sort of self-hatred make you want to be. Hi, I want to get the people from Buckhead when South Fulton will buy you out. Go to South Fulton where your language is.
And it's interesting when we think about the book. Sometimes we think about a physical product, but this book can be applicable to churches and how they minister, how they evangelize. To solopreneurs, to businesses, people in healthcare, because it's the tools that you gather. I have a method called the shift. We won't go into that specifically, but it's the tools that you use and how you use them to really get to your audience. But if you don't know your audience, you wouldn't know to say they don't mind if I say Negro, coon, cracker, different things of that nature. But
You have to follow me up. That's fine.
yeah, but you've taken the time to understand your audience, because a lot of times we say, especially as clinicians, I'm finding this a lot. People are, well, I've been in social work, I've been in this space, HIV space, whatever it may be. It's like, oh, I know it. I've been in it for 20 years, but their campaigns aren't connecting. We still have high rates of HIV. We're having people not getting tested, but now you had to think of the language. I was running an HIV campaign in Pennsylvania recently, and my bosses and them were clutching their pearls in a sense, because I switched the language. One of it was I swallow, get tested, and people like, oh my God, you're using that, bitch, please. The white audience were like, oh my God, Avery, what the hell are you doing? Yes, they were like, we don't know your pushers. Like, trust me, I know the audience. I'm not pandering to the audience. There's a difference when you pander versus when you really know your audience.
Right. No, absolutely. And I think, and not to get lost in it, I think there are more people need to be in these marketing rooms when these campaigns are created, because it's a thin line between pandering and just truly innately knowing who the audience is. Really, I don't want to get lost because we got 3 more parts.
Let me add something. You just said something. That's one of the reasons why I wrote the book, when I first got the idea of being in the room but not being heard in the room. And so many are marketing campaigns for minorities, Black people. We were not at the table. It came in. One of my things I talk about in my intro is, hey, I was sitting in a room with a full of white folks. They had one Black person. They had an ad with one Black. Oh, we met our diversity quote. I'm like, no, this is not my community. But a lot of us, especially even Black people, we won't speak up. And so that was one of my first introductions, say, this book is needed because you can't only market to us, you got to bring us to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And hear what we have to say. I have changed this platform 11 times. And what I have found out recently? I have 2 private communities. One is $2.99 and one is $9.99. The $2.99ers is very diverse. They want me to talk junk. They want me to cut up. They want to laugh. They want to gossip. The $9.99ers want community and me to teach higher consciousness. And I said to myself, if the great majority, if matter of fact, almost every 999er, my deep, at the bottom of my little, funnel is wanting spirituality and consciousness, then why am I not serving that more? And because clearly that's what the people want, is that, and not just, just me cutting up. And so I think it's important to sort of be able to drop your ego and realize, like, the people that spend the most money with me are the people that want to hear what I got to say from a high level space.
You know what that just told me too?
Yeah.
From a marketing standpoint of view, I'm not digging it. That's your differentiator. There's so many, and I'm not calling you a blogger or podcaster just like that. There's so many so many people do the key and let's cut up, let's tear people down, where you're one of the same, but now this elevated group, yes, you don't have the low-hanging fruit of the 299, but they're like, hey, there's nothing out there that talks about spirituality, taking me to a higher level. I'm willing to invest in my greater being. And as marketers, as people, we got to realize that. And you just told me something without realizing it. You're not going for the quantity, you're going for the quality. And so many of our businesses, we only go for quantity. We got to have big numbers, but not really looking at the quality of your followers. And most likely those 999 will be more long-term followers. So you have to shift.
The 999ers, every single 999 member are, okay, hold on. 299ers. I promise you I'm not being shady. And if you got a problem with it, just go over there to the 999 and then you be part of that. When I tell you, Avery, there's about 200 to 300 299ers, and there's about 30 to 40 999ers. And those 30 to 40, top quality. I'm talking about top quality. All right. Are you enjoying this book? Click the link in the video description box of the video that you're watching right now to purchase Stop Marketing Like Your Audience is White from a friend of the platform and my personal friend, Avery McDougle. He has been in the marketing space for 18 years. He also does consulting. So if you are a solopreneur or you have a whole 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 member team, and you're having a tough time getting your product or your campaign off the ground, you can reach out to him for consultant services. And that information is in the video description box of the video that we're watching right now. Go ahead and click the Linktree link to get all things VTerrillHill, soul healing. I'm going to be rolling out with a new mentorship program. I've been testing it for the last 6 months. It has proven itself to be well. And so we're going to open it up to the public really, really soon. So I want you to go ahead and get locked in with VTerrillHill. Text 833-458-3658 to VTerrillHill. That's one of the main ways you can get all upcoming information from me. Also, we're about to start rolling out with the emails again. The emails are coming back. So if you want free emails and want a free membership to our email community, go ahead and click that Linktree link and sign up for that as well. It's a double opt-in. So when you sign up, check your spam and whatnot, because the second confirmation might be there. Y'all get ready. We're about to go to the next level. To prove that, Avery, let's go to part 2. Do the work. Talk to me. What's do the work as relates to this book?
Part 2 was one of my favorite sections of the book. So anyone can relate. One of my favorite titles is Google Ain't Research, period. And yes, I did it broken English on purpose. Google ain't research. We're always around. We probably have those friends. You ask them, Google it. Google it.
Right.
I'm like, I'm asking you. But I'm here to say, when you want to know your audience, when you want to know your people, Google is not it. Google can give you the framework, it can give you some structure, but it does not tell you the nuances of the audience. It does not replace you from talking to who you're trying to serve. So just remember, Google ain't research. That was a one fun chapter because we could all relate to it. You might have even said it yourself. And think about how easy it would have been if you would have took 1 or 2 minutes to talk to someone when they ask you a question versus just Google it. You're missing out opportunities. And then one of the sessions titles is Nobody Talks Like That. And what does that mean? A lot of business people, a lot of broadcasters, we want to sound very professional. We want to sound good PR, good press releases. People like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know. Hill, I talk to you. You don't talk like this. We're
Right.
pontificating.
Right.
If you're in the church community, it's a lot of pontificating, but you're not talking to the needs of the people. We're here to serve your needs, not some generic terms. And so, but that's very important in your marketing to really move from corporate speak to proper vernacular. We talked about this earlier, city of South Fulton in Atlanta, suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. They master that vernacular of the community and it's really engaging. People won't like it, but those aren't your target audience. So remember that. Yes. And then another one is show up or shut up. Oh, I love this title. You're like, show up or shut up. And so with that title, we know there's many people that come in our communities. They'll give us 5,000, 10,000, then they leave. They're not invested. So I talk about there's a need to go to the barbershop event and there's a need to go to the major events. Be there for your community. If you ask something, if you need something, don't just show up when you have an ask. Show up so you can be visible in your community. Show up and volunteer on this or that. So when you're going for the bigger things, people will see that you're genuine, that you care. We're in election season now. So I'm
Right.
relating to something we can think of. A lot of politicians we know, they don't show up or they just come around when election time. And now I'm challenging that notion. And we don't trust politicians, a lot of us. Some people do. And that's one of the reasons we don't trust them because they're not there. They do drop-bys. And in your
Right.
marketing, you got to be careful with the drop-bys and drop-ins and how you market your product, how you market yourself. And again, what I said earlier, this is not to just a physical product. This is from a church perspective, a personal brand perspective, how I recruits, because marketing touches a lot of things. Recruitment, how I retain members or how I retain my consumers that I already have. So all these are important when you look at the plethora of how marketing impacts your business. And then the last one is you're not the hero in this chapter. And that goes from, how can I say that? Some people have a savior complex. I need to come in and save the Black community. I need to come and save this. You have this product, you're going to be saved. You're going to do this. You're going to come off better. I'll give you a different example you may relate to. Hey, if you go to Harvard, people are going to take you serious, And I'm like, wait a minute, what's wrong with Morehouse or Spelman or different things of that nature? And so that's why this thing was so important. One thing that you notice in this book, it's not the typical titles. It's not the boring. I didn't write it to be boring. I get bored easily. So I wrote the book to be very easy reading, conversational. It also gives you key takeaways. So it's just not a book of me just talking. So when you get it, you're going to see key takeaways. Oh, this is how I can apply it to the real world or my thing. And that's very important. And that's why I use titles like Google ain't research, period. Nobody talks like that. Show up or shut up.
Right. Now, first of all, absolutely, because just by the titles, okay. Point in case, or case in point, however you said. Avery called just to speak, and I was walking. I said, "Man, it's not a better time you could call." I just started my walk, and we were just talking normally because we're friends. And he says, I don't know how his book came up, but as soon as he said, "Stop marketing like your audience is white," I said, "Oh, I got to interview you." Just simply because this is the language of this platform. And so he didn't have to tap dance. He didn't have to do anything at all. The title alone created a space for this interview. And so you got to understand your audience language because you're one title away from touching the world, or rather your world.
And
Um,
if I can add to that, it was a challenge at first because I was like, "Oh, am I being too unapologetic, being too bold?" I was talking to a publisher. She said, "Oh my, she's a white lady. Oh, good." Then she's like, "Wait a minute, that's good." It's like, if they don't get it, then they're not the audience because sometimes I'm like, oh, well, they see that I'm anti-blackness. It is not a DEI book. So let me make that very clear. It's not a black versus white book, but it's about a refraining. One thing I say, what if your marketing was never built for the people you're trying to reach? And so that is one of my things. And so this books make you rethink how you look at your marketing, how you center marketing and your defaultness, and not just go by if you are marketing yourself or education, what you were taught in school.
I love that. It's so beautiful because number one, just because people don't like it, don't mean it's wrong. It could very well be you haven't found your audience yet. And so you have to really, I'm glad you said that, Avery. You have to really be conscious of the changes and upgrades you make because the person that's asking you to change might not be the person you want to be in your market. They're not, excuse me, they're not in your market. They're trying to change you to fit their needs versus finding a market who has a need that you can fill. Now, that
And
being
say that
said,
again, change
yeah,
you to fit their needs.
yeah, you got to be careful because some people say, don't like that, don't do this. Why don't you do that? Because they're wanting you to change to fit their needs. And what I'm saying is, you don't need to change to fit their needs more than you need to find out where you can fulfill needs at. And there is a place, a group of people that you can fulfill their needs. And then you use those people to customize and evolve and make yourself better. Those voices. I hope that you're enjoying friend of the show, Avery McDougle, as we discuss his book, Stop Marketing Like Your Audience is White. If you want to connect more with this platform, text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658. Text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658. If you want to join my email community, we're about to start that back up. Click the Linktree link in the video description box of the video you're watching now. Please support this platform by sending $10 to the SafeSpace Cash App, and that is $SafeSpaceVTH, $SafeSpaceVTH. Every and anything else I have going on, click the Linktree link in the video description box. As well, you can join the $9.99 community I've been hooting and hollering about in this video. One more thing, we're going to be live right after this, okay? Avery and I will be live right after this stream to join you all, ask questions, talk, have the conversation. So if you have any questions for Avery, hold them because after this pre-recorded interview, we'll be coming on live on this exact stream. I have an all-Black woman advisory council, and every one of those women, 99% of them are in my 999 room. Why? Because I attract Black women, and if you're in that 999 room, you down for the down. So those are the ones that I'm going to listen to. Those are the ones that when they say, well, VT, have you done this? I'm like, let me think about that because they're my core audience. Now, I want to say something about language real quick, and then we're going to go to part 3. One of the things that I'm so glad about this platform, and I'm not trying to be the hero, okay, about this platform is that we're so unapologetically us. I don't have to beg for support. All I have one job to speak the language of the moment to my audience. And if I do that, Avery, if I'm just up here jaw jacking, I might get, I do my 10, 10 people do $10. I might get $5. But if I mess around and catch the beat of what's going on in the moment, I don't even have to ask people to send. They automatically start sending money because I'm meeting a need. And so you cannot be so focused on selling a product that you put the product before the needs of the people, even if the product meets the need. Let me say that again. You cannot put the product before the needs, even if the product meet the need. You need to go need first, solution based first. And here's how we can fulfill that need, said product. But if you're so product focused to get to a bottom line to sell, you're going to miss an opportunity to get some real customers, some real fans.
And you were talking, and I was thinking when you said your base. I'm going to bring Tyler Perry into the discussion. You love or hate him. He knows his base, and he's built upon it. Thousands of people say, "I don't want to listen to his stuff," but he understands what those women want, what to give them, and it made him a millionaire. Different things, and so marketing, you can't be everything to everybody, because in the marketing space, everyone think they're marketers, but some of them don't know jack diddly about marketing and different things of that nature. So,
No,
but it's a
absolutely.
perfect segue into the part three of
Mhm.
making stick stories and legacy. Because one thing that I did, and it's very important, you might have not picked it up, but on each different chapter, I have a quote.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very important to me. They mean something. Like in this section, the quote is, "The metrics that matter can't always be measured." And I'm going to
Mm.
read that again. "The metrics that matter can't always be measured."
Talk about that. Talk about that.
And so what that means, as business people, as podcast leaders, we're always looking, oh, I want the data, 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 data. Data is important. I'm saying it's important. But some things, when it works, you just said something earlier. The first chapter in that book is, when it works, it works. You know your audience now. You understand it. Even though other people saying you need to do this and this, like, no, my 999 ladies, they're my advisors, they're my backbone. I'm not going to mess with that formula. But one thing we have to learn is some things will flop. I've had campaigns that flop. I had to learn, but you have to repeat from it, and you can't do that because sometime I'm looking at the impressions, but did my campaigns really move people to action? And I'll break it down. And I ran a statewide COVID campaign, an HIV campaign. I wanted to connect people to care. I didn't want to just do pretty advertisements. And so everything I could not measure, but as I start breaking my marketing down, I start something simple. I was featuring overweight people, fat people with their shirts off, trans people. I wasn't using body beautiful people. People like, what the heck are you doing? But I'm like, these are the community members. Y'all don't understand that. But once I start using these body conscious people start following, looking at the campaign. It wasn't just another pretty campaign that didn't really relate to this person, because even in something like a COVID or HIV, we were trying to talk to an effeminate man, or like, no, anyone's at risk. The women are there. We're talking out prep. And so chubby man, a DL man. And so, but it took a lot to really kind of, one, I was able to tap into it because, from my lived experience of understanding different communities, but then also not just sticking to the data, because you said something earlier. Hey, I know my audiences is 18 and 25-year-old. That's nice. But what do you know about those 18 to 25-year-olds, beyond their age group? Do they go to college? Did half of them suffer mental health or different things of that nature? You have to dig deeper, get those different questions. And so that's why this section was Make It Stick, Stories and Legacies, where stories are very important. Talking to people, really learning their story will help you kind of to be successful. One of the chapters is called Advocacy is the New ROI. You're like, well, why is that? But the more we talk about something, you said something earlier about the deep spiritual connections. So some people are advocating for that. And guess what? That's going to be the space that's going to grow your business now, because you're not selling a product. You're just advocating. I'm not a part of that. I can't afford the $9.99 yet. One day. So, but
I done bought this book. You can give me 1 month. No.
You know, hey, I got tick for tack, okay? But you're tapping into that spirituality, that
Mhm.
advocacy.
Yes,
You're doing something deeper, and that deeper connection is really
yes,
getting you followers. They don't mind investing into you, so it's a
mhm,
different form of marketing. But it's
yeah,
just so much important that the demographics, the data will not tell.
yeah. No, I love that. I want to, before you move forward, I want to say something about uh, what was the quote about the numbers again? Uh, Gosh,
The metrics that matter can't always be measured, or is that one?
the metrics that are cannot always be measured. The metrics that matter cannot always be measured. And this is a little bit maybe not pointed directly at that quote, but very adjacent. So, for example, person number A can have 20,000 people that saw a video, and person number B can have 2,500 people that saw the video. And we on the outside would assume that person B flopped and person A did well, comparatively speaking, until you look at the metrics and realize that though 20,000 people saw the video, they only watched it for 3 seconds and moved on. While 1,500 people saw at least half of the other video. And so if you're measuring by these simple numbers, you'll be calling yourself a failure when you're really winning. And so you got to go deeper into what does success look like other than these kind of bogus numbers that people say,
Vanity
look,
metrics.
yeah, vanity. Thank you. Vanity
Yeah,
measures.
yeah. A lot of marketers of people, they get stuck on the impressions and, oh, I had 80 million impressions. So what? How many people clicked your ads? How long do they spend with your videos? That is important. If you do a video and you see, hey, people are spending at least a minute in my video, or they're cutting off at 30 seconds, you're like, let me tweak that. But let me break it down for the audience even more. My dad used to say this to me, and I didn't understand it till he was dead in the ground. But he used to say, "Hey, Avery, you may make $25,000. Hill makes $100,000, but Hill has nothing in his bank account. $1,000. You have 15,000 in your bank account. You are the more financially well off, wealthy." I'm like, but he make $1 million. Yeah. He has fine mansions, the Mercedes, the BMWs, but you have that cash in your pocket, even though you're not bringing that in. And it took me a long time to understand that when it comes to success, but it can be related to marketing as well, to what you're saying, not just the vanity stuff, but are you really moving the people? Are people engaging? Did you have, out of your 1,500, did 100 of them share your posts? Versus this 20,000 people, they looked, they saw, but only 10 people shared my post. And so, and I'll give you another example. I was working in the financial industry. We were doing an estate planning, and I did this event for this gentleman. Uh, it only 7 people registered. And I called him, said, Joe, how did the event go? Oh, I canceled it. I was like, why did you cancel it? Well, I'm
Mhm.
used to 40 and 50 people like our Medicare seminars. I said, but you forgot everyone had income producing assets over $2 million. Each person I put in that room. Then he was like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. I said, 2 million, you had 7 people where your Medicare, their average is like 60,000, 7,000. I said, so you just screwed up, buddy. He was like, oh man, because he was so focused on quantity instead of the quality of the seats that we put in the room. Because I shared the data with them, showed them the housing, and he said, "Oh my God!" And so that's how we have to think about things when we
Yeah,
look at our marketing from a deeper level.
absolutely. And to add to that, let's go to 20,000 views versus the 2,500. Um, you can have 20,000 views and uh, half of that, 10,000 people at one time subscribe to your video, your channel. And you think, oh my God, I'm making it. And then the guy with the 2,500, 200 people signed up for their email marketing campaign. 50 people signed up for the text messaging, and 10 people bought a $180 product. I am telling you, the person with the 2,500 views won in a residual kind of way. because
Yes.
those people were so moved by whatever they were saying or doing. They accepted the call to action to go deeper in the funnel, to give real data like phone number and email. See, if you subscribe to me, I can't really do nothing to that. But if you give me your phone number and email and I can directly touch you, I can do a lot with that. And so for those of you that feel like, I don't understand why my channel not growing like their channel is growing, you're missing opportunity to not just be to grow from a vanity, but to really structure something that can feed you for a lifetime. But you got to see it that way and honor your voice, your audience, and what you've created thus far. Yeah.
And with that, like you said, focusing on the wrong thing. But here's where I say, as a clinician, marketing won't be successful by marketing alone. Then you have to take the other discipline and how do I communicate now to my audience? What is my communication structure? I got them in, they signed up for my emails, loose, but sometimes people can market and turn people off. What do you mean by that? I tell clients all the time, I know you hate it. Don't send 50,000 emails. Okay. If you decide to once a month, twice, but not every day, don't, or even big retailers, they get it wrong. Some of them, they have the same sale for 8 months. So guess what? I'm never going to buy it at regular because I know you're going to have the same sale. So I'm saving money. So how do we communicate our value prop? Now you will them in marketing. Marketing puts butts in the seats, but your communication plan will kind of keep them in your touch points because that's the biggest thing in marketing and communication and PR, how they all work together because we work hard to get our consumers, but now we have to keep them. And you can't leave one out of the other. They both have to work together.
Right, right. And there's so many, and I'm gonna get lost in this. I'm gonna say this, we're gonna go to part four. But there's so many, because of, I love that term, vanity metric. There are so many people that are so excited that 100 people join their email list, and they don't understand that whether that the what's that word? The turnover rate
Yes.
is huge. 100 people subscribe, 200 people unsubscribed last month. And so it's way more than just the vanity. And I think that's important because I deal in the soul healing space. And from a soul healing perspective, for those of you that are here for that, what am I saying? What you have created thus far is good enough to take you to the next level. Stop comparing yourself to vain metrics that don't matter at the end of the day. There are people with
Be
20,000 subscribers and they average 2,000 videos. There are people with 2,000 subscribers and they average 20,000 views. So do not get lost in the vain metrics. Listen, if you're enjoying this, I want you to click the link inside of the video description box of the video you're watching now. That way you can get the information on how to connect with friend of the show, Avery McDougle. All right. And also, if you want to buy the book, Amazon, Walmart, wherever books are sold, it's also in hard copy. The link to purchase is in the video description box. Okay. If you want to connect more with this platform, text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658. Text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658. If you want to join my email community, we're about to start that back up. Click the Linktree link in the video description box of the video you're watching now. Please support this platform by sending $10 to the SafeSpace Cash App, and that is $SafeSpaceVTH, $SafeSpaceVTH. Every and anything else I have going on, click the Linktree link in the video description box. As well, you can join the $9.99 community I've been hooting and hollering about in this video. One more thing, we're going to be live right after this, okay? Avery and I will be live right after this stream to join you all, ask questions, talk, have the conversation. So if you have any questions for Avery, hold them, because after this pre-recorded interview, we'll be coming on live on this exact stream. Let's get to part four so we can get Mr. McDougle on out of here. Lead the shift. What does lead the shift mean, Avery?
with leadership, I start with a quote by Angela Davis. Most of us know Angela Davis. And her quote is, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. So, got to think of, I'm going to read it one more time if someone missed it. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. So, we've talked on a high level about stop marketing, like this audience is why we've introduced like chapter titles, but now it's like the shift starts here. So how do we retire the default and build for everyone you aim to serve? How do we take away what we've been taught and learn to say, hey, I need to look at my marketing more than just vanity impressions? How do I learn my audience? And so this last chapter is really talking about how do you start the shift? How do you move and break what you've been taught and what you know? How do you center everyone else? Because I have a line, keep doing what's always been done, and you'll lose more than just market share. You'll lose trust, you'll lose relevance, you'll lose people. And once that's gone, it's hard to earn it back. And so I've seen campaigns start with generic slogans, generic visuals. It didn't land, but when the community brought it in, when we talked about your advocacy, it shifted. And one thing that I like to talk about, I have this motto I say, it says the correct strategy shift model. What is that? In your marketing, S, see the people, name the culture, context, constraints. H is hear the barriers. Identify the levers. What does that mean? Choose the messenger, the place, the timing, incentive, and the policy that changes to create the movement. And the F is focus the message. How do we focus? Sometime in our marketing, we're all over the place. So focus what you really want to talk about. And Hill, you said this in your one platform. T is for test and track. Start small, measure what matters, and then show your receipts. If any letter is weak, then you have to pause and fix your message, then come back to the words. So that is kind of shift. And then I talk about my next up is do the damn work, because knowing isn't the shift, doing is. So it's good to have this knowledge in this book, as you say, but if you don't apply it, and the good thing with this book, and yes, I wrote it, so I'm not bragging, but it's very practical. Each chapter has a final takeaway. Um, it has the embrace the shift, but also in this book, we have a workbook included that you can take. If you're a marketer, if you're thinking about it, you can go in here and fill it out and say, okay, here's one of the things. Who's in this room? Who's helping you shape your next campaign? Are you co-creating the message? If it's something spiritual, do I want to co-create with a big church or a small church? Show up the plan, map this out, partners who you can trust, follow up that earns trust, use 2 months after the first touch. And so I kind of break it down. How do you bring receipts? How do you look at what you're doing? So this isn't a book for me to say, oh, Avery, you're going to try to earn money, become a thought leader. This is the book to help move my people. I said my people intentionally help us to move forward and to claim. And this is the precursor to my next book, We Are Not the Niche, copied everywhere, And so, but that's a whole nother story. But we have to really do the shift, do the damn work. And one thing that I have in this book that I love, I wrote a letter. I said, it's my letter to you, the reader. And so if anything, you will get that. If I could just read 1 or 2 lines in that letter here, I said, you finished the book, now move. The default mode did not include all of us. It prizes speed and sameness. It rewarded comfort over truth. It delivered reach without real connection. Keep what works, drop what harms, choose outcomes over options. People will argue about DEI. Let them debate the label. We will keep doing the work. America is plural. If your marketing does not mirror the reality, you waste money and trust. That is not strategy, that is waste. Here is the charge. Listen before you speak. Build with the community, not at them. Set equity outcomes and fund them. Pay cultural reviewers and local partners on time. Share your receipts so others can learn. When you miss, repair it fast and in public. Your brand should taste like the people you serve, seasoned, specific, and true. So if you lead, fund it, protect it. If you practice demands briefs, then name the audience with care and context. If you hold the pen, write with respect for lived experience. So stop marketing like your audience is white and start building for everyone. Break the default mode in marketing and messaging. And the days of supremacy in our stories are over. The market has moved. Let your message catch up. And here's a quote that I use in all my speaking engagements, and it's something I want you to think about. I have, be married to the goal, but date the process. And I want the audience to think about, be married to the goal and date the process.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my letter to the audience. And then I have this worksheet of doing the damn work. How do you move from it? How do we move from talking about it? As Black folks, we love to talk about it. We love to get in the audience. You should have did this, should have did that, but we're not doing the damn work. And so my challenge to all the listeners is do the damn work. Pick up the book, get some ideas. I even have if you have a book club, I even have some things. This is how you talk to your book club. Here's some questions you can talk in your book club. So I try to think of all the different barriers of how we can better educate our people and ourselves, that we can't rely or wait on the man to do something. As a community, how we step up, and once we have the knowledge, no one can stop us.
This is such a wonderful example of what we talked about today, because I don't know you professionally. I knew what you did, but I've been busy doing what I've been doing. But you drew me in by using my language. And now that you drew me in, you've captivated me by fulfilling the need, by your presentation is just as strong as your title. You know, your title ain't strong, and then you get up here and fumbling and bumbling. And so I want you all to listen, look, observe how Avery has even used this book to get the attention of his people and educate us when it comes to marketing. So again, the Linktree link in the, not, excuse me, there's a link inside of the video description box of the video you're watching right now. Stop marketing like your audience is white. Go ahead and connect with Avery. All the rest of his information to connect with him is in the video description box. If you are a business owner, thought leader, visionary, pastor, student, teacher, you know, you sell shirts, you sell how to grow your hair, whatever you got, reach out to him and let him know that you found him on this platform. And I'm going to believe God, he's going to give you a discount. Amen. And so, and
Black folks always giving a discount. No, I'm just playing.
Right. And he is, you know. But I want to thank you so much thank you so much, Avery. First of all, for even writing this book for our people. Thank you so much for availing your information with the Safe Space Live and Safe Space TV audience. Any last words? Tell us how to reach you before you go.
Sure. Again, I'm gonna say, do the damn work. Listen, listen, listen. But you can reach me on several platforms. I'm on LinkedIn, Avery McDougle, McDougle. Facebook, Avery Mac. But you can also hit me up at info@correctstrategies.com, or visit correctstrategies.com. That is a way to look that's a way to get in contact with me. In the near future, I will probably have a book reading, book signing, and some book giveaways in the city of Atlanta. So if you're interested, let me know. Maybe we could do a partnership with the Safe Space, offering discounts, signed copies. It has not been finalized yet, but that is something I'm looking at doing. And especially, you could be the first group that get a copy of the next book that's coming out. And this next book, it's more exciting. This was a marketing business book, but the next book is talking about how do we I can't say that word. How do we take our power back? How do we monetize our stuff? They say we are a niche, but we're not the niche. We're the culture that builds the country. We're the culture that sets the tone, the brand. People are making millions of dollars off of Black people, but Black people are not a part of the table. And so this
Right.
book is talking to us on how do we take our control back, how we are not allowing ourselves to be the niche. This is the start, but now I'm doing the blueprint. Like my mother used to tell me, this is the fertilizer. Anything you have to do, and sometimes as marketer of people, we have to plant the seed. And sometimes we're like, well, people aren't following, we're not getting it. It does not matter. You planted the seed. You never know when people will need your word, your message, and you never know when that seed will be fertilized. So don't stop. Don't be discouraged. Continue to plant the seed. And it may be you to fertilize, it may be someone else to fertilize it, but figure it out and you will be successful. And that's all that I have.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Avery McDougle, Mr. Avery Matt, for joining us today on this very, very special episode on Stop Marketing Like Your Audience is White. All right. If you are enjoying this platform and you want to hear more, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. We have so many new things rolling out. We have developed a new mentorship program. It's a 6-month program that I've been testing out amongst some of my inner chamber sacred space members. And it has proven itself to be very, very positive and very, 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 very insightful. Impactful is the word I want to use. And so if you're looking for mentorship, whether it is soul healing, business, relationship issues, whatever it is, get ready, because I'm going to open up a mentorship program. It's going to be a special night that I teach every week. And then you're going to get one free one-on-one session with me for an hour a month. And then in between there, we're going to be inside of discussion boards and connecting, because we got to do the damn thing. And it's Avery's job to show you what to do. It's my job to show you you can do it. Avery, here's what I'm thinking about doing. I really want you to consider doing a very, what's the term? Prune down, narrow down, niche down version of our conversation we have today, almost like marketing 101, if you will, because I would love to actually bring you into the community. You know, we can have them pay a little bit of money, you know, enough to make sure you're okay and all right. But for people who want to like have access, ask questions, get like, okay, start here, do this, do that, 10-step program or whatnot. If you come up with that, then I will definitely set it up in a group fashion. And then that way from there, if they want a one-on-one with you, they can. So if you do that, holler at me. I'll make sure that we open up the private communities to that, because I know there's a lot of people that just want to know what the heck to do. And they just need help doing it. So yes, sir. Yes,
we definitely can make that happen.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. If you enjoyed this, drop 3 green hearts in the comments. Till next time, be blessed. Bye. My people, my people, my people, my people. How are y'all doing today? I hope y'all are well. Listen, Avery is backstage. We're about to have the conversation live. I know it's been a while. I'm sorry. I promise I'm coming back. I'm coming back after this. Hand to God, I'm coming back after this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play this good old commercial for good old time's sake real quick. And then we're going to chat and catch up with each other. We're going to talk with Avery, all the things of the things. It's been so long. Oh, my God. It's been so long since we've talked. And so let's do it all, okay? Let's talk with Avery. And then if we need a family discussion, I do not mind going live after this, or choosing a time later on this evening that we go live in the private community. So don't go nowhere. We're going to be right back. Oh, hold on. Lord, I got to get you. I'm out of touch here. Let's say back. Oh, Lord, I'm messing up. We'll be back.
Safe Space, refuge for growth and healing. Want to be connected to all that Safe Space has to offer? Join our email community. Stay in the loop with inspirational insights and updates. Join our email community and connect with like-minded individuals on the path to self-discovery. Sign up now.
Find your tribe in a safe, supportive space. Join the Safe Space private community and connect with others who get it. We're waiting for you. Stay connected wherever you are with lives and video drops. Text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658 for instant updates and powerful insights. Join the text community now. Curious about what's next? Book an intuitive tarot reading with VTerrillHill and get the clarity you need. Your future awaits. Heal from within and transform your life. Schedule a soul healing consultation and take the first step towards wholeness. Start your journey today.
Click the Linktree link inside of the description box connected to this video for all of what the Safe Space universe has to offer.
Can y'all see me? Am I on here? You know, I am so out of pocket, y'all. I don't even know what's on here. Let's see here. Add the stage. I'm so confused right now. If you can hear me, drop a green heart in the comment. Y'all, I've been so out of order. They done changed StreamYard around, and I'm so confused right now. Hold on one second. Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. All right. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Welcome back to Safe Space Live. And actually, we're simulcasting on Safe Space TV as well. As I said before the commercial, I know I've been gone. I'm going to do better about that. I am, well, not better. I've been going on purpose, but I'm back now. You know, I leave and go as I please. I'm disobedient. At any rate, we do have Avery McDougle, the author of Stop Marketing Like Your Audience is White, behind the stage, and so he's going to be with us. Okay, so if you have any questions, any comments as we are talking, you know, put them in the comments, and then we're going to ask those. Other than that, we're going to chat a little bit. Avery did have I had to edit it out because of the date issue, because we were supposed to air this last Saturday. Nonetheless, Avery did have an offer for those of you that join the spirituality and consciousness community. You have opportunity to get a free book if you join in the next 2 days. Now, the beautiful part about that is you get 4 days for free. So you can essentially win a book for free just by playing the system. All right, I'm going to bring him on. Let me see if I can't work this out. Hold on one second, okay, guys, because I am just as confused. So I'm going to try to bring him on in a way that works. And if it don't, I'm going to bring him on this way because I am out of practice with this. Be right back. Okay, hold on. Now there. Then I want to do this. Safe Space Live. Okay, so it's just not going to work. I don't understand why. I don't know what to do. Yeah. I don't understand why. Oh, I know why. That's why. Hold on. I got it now. I got it. There we go. Okay. Listen, hey, bro, I am out of touch. I haven't been live in so long. I'm just hitting all the wrong stuff. That's what I was supposed to have been doing. Avery McDougle, how you doing, man? You doing all right?
Man, I'm doing good on a Saturday.
Good. Now, did you go to church today?
Bedside Baptist today.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Listen, Celeste, I'm sorry. I'm out of practice, but we're here. I think we look good, so I think we're here now. Avery, first of all, thank you so much for speaking to us about your book. There's so much I want to talk about. I want to talk about vanity metrics. That was something that I was personally moved by, vanity metrics, because I know it discourages a lot of people. Like, I think there are like 5 people on here right now. And so one would think it's a dub. It remains to be seen. For example, if I get one person to join either the private community or the spirituality and consciousness community, it's a win. It's a W, because that person is going to be residual versus 1,000 people. And then, matter of fact, believe it or not, someone has already sent $20 in Cash App from this show. So one would think, let's just get into it. One would think, oh my God, it's a flop, but that's what we're talking about. You got to learn how to use what you got and stop worrying about the quantity. Can you expound on that some more?
Before that, again, thanks for having me. And before we jump into the questions, I kind of want to start with this, just as a premise for someone that might have not did the pre-recording. I didn't write the book to start a debate, but I wrote it because I kept seeing the same problem: marketing that looks good on paper, but never connects in real life. So that's really, I want to set the stage for that. And many of us seen campaigns and thought that wasn't built for me. And that's where the conversation starts. So if you could rephrase your question, then I can go right in that. I just wanted to frame that at the beginning.
What have you ran into a lot of sort of vitriol about your title? Like, what do you feel like that was necessary?
No, it's interesting. People got it, but at first it was like, oh my God. When I was shopping the book title around, went to a publisher, and then after talking to her, it was like, oh, I get it. But you know what? It was marketing 101. I chose the title, because I wanted you to stop in your footprint.
Yeah.
Most of us, especially us, we would not pick up a book if it said marketing 101 or how to do this. You needed something to catch the attention of the people. And as I took my own advice, talking to different people, doing like solid small focus groups, then I decided this is the topic. Let me go with my gut instead of letting society or that one-dimensional way of marketing stir my title choices. So I had to take my own advice when I chose that title.
God, now I want to go 1,000 different directions. So I'm gonna have to get my pen and paper out, because interesting, you said us, but it raises the point that what you had to do to get quote unquote us to pick up the book is speak our language. And see, a lot of times what happens is you have these companies, these marketing companies, they use a white adjacent language, and that works for a people that's not us, and then be like, see, y'all just don't want to learn nothing, when you used all of the studies and statistics and discoveries to get them people to pick the book up, or they wouldn't have picked it up. So is it that
Correct.
we don't pick up books, or have we been so trained to be white adjacent that we haven't learned to speak our language? Because to your point, you gave me the title, I didn't even read the book. I said, come on the show. So have at it. Talk about that.
And you said so much, because it is so true in all the points you said. We have been trained to be white adjacent. We use example on the pre-recorded live when I talked about the city of South Fulton. Even as Black individuals, we always hear the term, oh, that's so ghetto. Oh, it's ghetto.
Yeah.
You're using the colloquialisms, you're ghetto. And like, I asked someone, what is ghetto? I tell people, hey, I'm bilingual. I can speak Ebonics and the Kingsman English in a sense, but we're one of the communities that we we despise our own uniqueness and say it's not professional. We despise what gives us the spirit and the culture, what everyone else wants to copy from. We run away from it. And so, this is a reminder. I even have a section because, prime example, we can be in leadership, we can be represented in the room, but we can still not be at the table. Clarence Thomas as an example. Just to throw, not to start a whole nother subject, but a lot of us have been culturally conditioned to think, hey, the Ivy League school, this is what we're taught, this is how we have to present ourselves, because it's the white standard of beauty, the white standard of thought thinking. And so this book was meant to talk to white people, talk to Black people, and say, hey, we got to shift our thinking. If we want to move the needle on growing our churches, growing our businesses, growing our private groups, we have to think differently. We have to understand our audiences. And when we look at some people that are successful in man's eye, we know and understand that they know their audience. They don't venture out from it. The greater community says, we need more of this, we need that. But they're like, I know my lane, I know who made me rich, and I'm gonna stick with it. And so many of us are dumb and blind. We have this mentality of, I am a PhD, I'm a doctorate. So I have all the answers, and you don't. And that's why your programs fail. Or we have comments like, oh, the Black audience is hard to reach, or this audience is hard to reach. No, you didn't take the time to know them. We're not hard to reach.
Yeah, I think that is, and the fascinating thing about this, Avery, is there's such a soul healing element to this, because what I hear through my soul healing ears is, if you want to reach your people, you have to first fully embrace who you are. Your people are wrapped up in you, and perhaps maybe that's why you have not been as successful, because you're fashioning after another platform, another group, and that's not your language. And there's a people that want to hear your language. And I think that's such a strong point when it comes to marketing.
And one other thing in going in that line, be true to yourself, be true to you. And everything's, but there comes in a point, depending on what it is, if it's a business, I can be true to myself, but if I'm marketing to a consumer, how do I understand the consumer? There's a chapter in my book says, you're not the hero. Too many brands come in and say, hey, get this water. This will solve all your issues. It's not about your brand. It's about, are you really talking to my needs? How's your product going to meet my needs, instead of your product and you being the saver? And we love leadership. We look for the Martin Luther Kings of the world and different things of that nature. But Martin Luther King, there's no other Martin Luther King that's going to save us. So how do we talk to them and say, hey, the safe space is giving you tools to hopefully help you move along. We're not your savior, but we're here to aid you on your journey to a safe space, to aid you on your journey to greatness. And we have to look at that from a marketing perspective, that same attitude.
I love that. So what I hear you saying is, in the beginning, you find your authentic voice and you use it, but then you're not the hero. So as you begin to grow, as you naturally attract people by your authentic voice, then you must assess the crowd and then pivot per need of the crowd that was attracted to you. Right. That y'all, for those of you guys that like this kind of talk, that in itself is what is it called? A jewel, a dime? What do you call when you a gold? What do you say when you drop something? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I think that's so important, because I know for people like me, you attract the people and then you do put yourself on the pedestal, and then you wonder why you have a heavy turnover rate. It's because though you were the bait, you are not the scaling, the fish, the grease, the kitchen, the pan. Those come from the people. I think that's so rich. What happened to you that made you decide to write this book?
That I wouldn't say what happened to me, but life experiences. Being a African American man in the marketing space, I often was really the only person. My career started a nonprofit. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia to work at Comcast Cable. At Comcast, a large corporation in the marketing space, the only Black man. I moved to places like GE. Yeah, we might have had a sprinkle too, but often my voice was sidelined. Often we had a campaign, bunch of other people in there, one person, they featured one Black man. We're in this together. I'm like, really? We're in this together. It's just one
Right.
person. But I got tired of people wanting our community, wanting our dollars, wanting our money, but not willing to listen to our voices. And so at the time, I was like, let me be the token face. Ooh, they'll pay me the money, but it's tiring to be the token face, So I want to sit at the table and I want to set the strategy. And so when I thought about this book in the late night of hours, I'm a night owl, and it came to me and I just started writing my thoughts, but it was purposely written not to be convoluted. I get bored easily. I lose attention. So it really was like, I wanted to be easy reading, not long paragraphs. Each chapter have a quick takeaway because that's how I see my career. Let's give people bits and pieces, understand how people consume information. And I looked at my experience and my career and said, hey, this is time, because so many times I was challenged like, ooh, that's a little bit too urban. Prime example, I interviewed for a job recently. I won't name the healthcare system, but the president was like, oh, you have an interesting equity lens. I love your equity lens. I was like,
Oh,
to
equity
myself, I was
lens.
like, what the hell does that mean? Okay.
Equity lens.
My
Okay.
equity lens, okay. I never got the call back or different
Right.
things,
Right.
but it was just interesting, those coded words. And I'm picking
Yeah.
up on coded language as I was building my career until I was able to take charge of the table. And I said, this is the prime example to take back to my community, but not only my community, the others that market, talk to our communities and say, hey, if you want to be in kumbaya with my community, here's the things you need to do to be aligned with my community. Stop taking us for advantage. So that's kind of my roundabout journey in crafting this book.
I love it. So now we talk about authenticity, right? So I have ADHD in the worst kind of way. And I normally, when I'm interviewing people, I jot notes because I forget all of my thoughts. So I'm going to punt this to you and put you on the screen so I can get a pen, or it's going to wear me to death. And then by the time I come back, I'll be good to go. Because if I don't stop now and just take this L, I'm going to be scattered all over the place. Because I forgot just that fast what I was going to. Oh, so back in the day, code switching, we as people of color, Black people, we were taught more to code switch than to accept our equity lens. And so I think now we're in a space where we can be more flat-footed. This is what's best for our people. And if they do not accept us in the boardroom, we can as well create our own. Can you talk about the transition over this, probably the last 10 or so years, where it's not that we are code switching, but we are owning our lens, our language, our approach, so that we can serve our audience?
Oh, that's a good one. I think more of us are coming to our own of being unapologetic us. And with that, it's like we're seeing that we have been code switching. We've been successful code switching in our communities and our colleges, but what has it got us? And so now we're saying, hey, it's time to shift the dynamics and the power in the room. Like Avery has the power within him. Hill has the power within him. Your listeners, you have the power into you. And so we know code switching is not getting us anywhere. So let's be our authentic self and let's get to what we need to be successful in our careers and our families. And I guess I have to talk a little bit more. Am I still alive? And one of the things I like to say when I talked about you're not the hero until Hill comes back, when your community leads, the message lands. And so a lot of times as marketers, as business owners, we have an idea, but we never really take it to the community. I'll give you another example. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Of the Black Wall Street, many of you have heard the Black Wall Street. Sadly, Black Wall Street is closing down. and it's sad, it's a great concept. Oh, this is a space for all African Americans, minority people to come, but it's closing. But the one thing that I think the owners failed to do in that space, great idea, they didn't really talk to the community. That space was almost an hour outside the city.
Oh,
Black folks were driving an hour outside the city just to
right,
look and different things. He did
right,
not really market. He had a great idea, but sad to say, it was not sustainable. He got online complaining, "You're not supporting me," blaming the
right,
community and different things of
right,
that nature. And that was a no-no. Instead of saying, "Let me really find out what the community needs." Yes, I'm part of the community, but
yeah,
just because we're part of the community, part of a product, do we truly understand? Let me take it back to a safe space environment. Hill is the proprietor of Safe Space, but if he doesn't listen to you as the consumer, he won't
right,
know the topics you're you get excited about. He can still
right,
talk about XYZ, but if you
right,
don't want to listen to it, guess what? You're going to stop subscribing. And that was the prime example of Black Wall
right,
Street. Great
right,
idea, but not really taking it to the land of the message.
right.
That was my
I'm going to
feeling
say,
for you.
no, I appreciate you because I got my pen. I got 3 notes already. So to that point though, I want to one of somebody. Hold on, let me see here. I'm going to find the specific thing. Here we go. This is what we talk about listening to the people. I am underscore Talisha has been, because it looks like she's not anymore, a faithful 299er. Well, she says if you're not speaking to or going live for the 299ers, then you're just taking their money. Now, the reality is, though that was not my intention, I thought, oh, Jesus, hold on. Oh, Lord. I have been ignoring my 299ers. And I dropped a whole hour yappalations, but I'm going to be real. I haven't given them as much attention as I've given the 999ers, not even half the attention. So this person is a part of my market. I am not the hero. I need to listen to her and do better about being consistent in my 299 private community. But if I look at it like, well, who she thinks she is? You don't tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. You're going to lose people. And so it is important that your marketing comes from your market, those that follow you, attracted to you, are a part of you. And I am underscore Talisha has been around a while. So I listen to people like her. And that's a real thing. So we were having the conversation in the comments. I'm like, okay, I'm coming back. I'm so sorry. I want to jump to Celeste's comment real quick. She says, almost as if the key difference in pulling away from marketing toward a white audience is authenticity and community. And what I want to pivot to you on is, let's use the Black Wall Street example. Do you think, Mr. McDougle, that stuff like that fails because it's not just the authenticity, but do you think that we're trying to use a white framework in a black world? So, for example, if maybe subconsciously we've modeled how other people have done it. Okay, so we're going to do that over here. What they're doing over there, we're going to do it over here, versus asking ourselves, what is the framework for over here? So not just the language, but it might need to be built totally different, based on who we are and what we are. Can you talk about maybe dismantling, if necessary, because you're the what's the name in here? But let's talk about framework, and do we need new framework?
Thank you. That's a good one, but let me just touch base on something the other comment said at first and leading into this. Even with your audience, sometimes as marketers, entrepreneurs, we grow too quickly. We grow too fast and we ignore the important people. But the one thing that you just did and is leading into my thing, you still have to go back and reach back. Even you've reached a plateau, you
Yeah,
can't forget about the people that brought you there. And
yeah,
now moving into like the Black Wall Street thing, yes, some of it was centered around this is how you talk about it, this is how you market, or you don't have any money. But I think the key difference is a lot of us sometimes we have this mentality, I know it all, or I Googled it, AI told me this. But AI is not giving you the reality where many of our businesses fail, marketing fail, because one, there's no market research. There's no framework. You have this wonderful idea, not saying your idea is not wonderful, but you're relying just on word of mouth. So yes, some traditional things are good to still implement, but yet you have to say, I know my community. Like, for instance, if I was doing Black Wall Street in Metro Atlanta, if anyone know Metro Atlanta, it's crowded. Stonecrest, yes, it's a Black community, but you know the average brother, sister is not going to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours, because they saw it as a flea market. It was, and they let the narrative grow as a flea market setting versus this is a valuable place. So it was very important to really not let the narrative speak for themselves. Here's the general marketing. Oh, I don't have a sign. I did this. People should know about me, but you're not Nike yet. You're not Adidas yet. That have these $1 million budgets that can just do simple statement, just do it, different things. You and our businesses starting out, we have to do a lot more work. We can't take on the laurels of most established businesses because you fail to realize what it took for them to get established so they can start using that, just think about it, just do it type things. And so we have to stop looking at the Amazons or the FedEx of the world and say, how do we shift our mindset? How do we do the framework? And how do we step beyond ourselves? Because as solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, we stay within our limited lane, our limited friendship. But if I know I really want to serve the South Side, most people may not know Atlanta. If I want to serve the urban community, and I live in suburbia in my $500,000 house, I grew up there, but how do I reconnect back? And our marketing, we really have to take that approach of really listening, understanding, and not just saying, here's what AI told me I should do about marketing, but what am I coming in to do for my community, and why should people support my organization? And if we ask ourselves some of those questions, we tend to be much more successful in what we do.
Yeah, and so beautifully spoken. So far in this conversation, I don't know, this might be better than the interview here, but so far in the conversation, we talk about authenticity, but another topic that it keeps on coming up is the hero issue. So another thing, and not to beat up on the Black Wall Street example, but since you brought it up, another thing was I knew the person pushing it more than I knew what Black Wall Street was offering. So I forget the guy's name, but I see his face right now. Everybody calls him a fraud. And what is that man's name? But anyway, he was more popular than the solution. And so solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business owners, proprietors, or whatever you are, you cannot outweigh the solution. You cannot outshine the solution. 2 reasons. Because if you become bigger than the solution, you are a target to bring your business down. Because as soon as someone goes after you, you're done. And so you cannot. What you say?
Go ahead.
Oh, and so you got to
add something to the statement.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna finish with that. So you got to make sure that you, even if you are the product, you are not the solution. And that way people don't be blinded by you. And then the second thing I'm going to let you go, I was in Midtown, and you're right. Our mutual friend, matter of fact, y'all stay right beside each other. It took the grace of God for me to get down there because it's like traffic and da-da-da-da. And so the people that probably could have really supported and carried Black Wall Street was probably in Midtown, or probably in that area where you could Uber for about $20. Because I know a lot of people in Atlanta didn't have cars, because Atlanta is truly becoming a walkable city. And so I'm gonna have to pay $50 to go to Black Wall Street when I can just go to First Friday High Museum and for $12 on Uber. And so all of that matters when you're creating a product. Go ahead, Avery.
And to your example, you got to think about where the Black wealth was sitting at in the city of Atlanta. The South Side of Atlanta is a wealthy side of the town. These are
Yeah.
the Black entrepreneurs. This is where
Right.
our
Like
mayors
old
live
money.
at, former
Mhm.
mayors. And not saying Stonecrest does not have it, but the
Right.
one thing you said earlier, too many times we become the business and not
Mhm.
the brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to take it back to another point of view. I used to work in a nonprofit, and my boss said this to me, and it stuck with me. So many times, our agencies, our Black nonprofits, they build on the reputation of the owner. When the
Mhm.
owner leaves, the company
Mhm.
nonprofit falls apart. But if Coca-Cola owner leaves, the company still goes on. The processes and
Correct.
things have been put in place. And so
Yeah.
as Black entrepreneurs, we have to rethink sometimes. Yes,
Yeah.
you are the brand,
Yeah.
but I got to think about how do I grow this business? Because to be honest, with Black Wall Street, I kind of forgot that it was even there. I
Right.
remember it
Right.
kind of hoopla, but we cannot stop marketing. And we got to really say, you got to run in two lanes, build your
Right.
brand. But I hate to say this, as we grow in our success, sometimes our own community can hate on us. Oh, he thinks he's all that. Oh, he wrote this little book. Or I had
Mhm.
someone make a comment. Oh, did AI write their book? It's like instead of
Mhm.
just saying, "Hey, good job,
Yeah.
congratulations," and different things of that nature. And so
Right.
we have to learn how to feed into that, anticipate some things, and say, "Okay,
Mhm.
this is about the business, not about heal. It's about how do I grow safe space." So
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it really about he on his platform, or am
Yeah.
I really providing you a safe space, although you're the engine behind it? And so
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons. Personally, I have not talked to that man and really analyzed it, but just
Jay
some of the
Morrison.
reasons why it probably did not fail.
Right. 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 Yeah. It's Jay Morrison. His name came to my mind. It's Jay Morrison, right? That's the guy's name
I
in
can't
Atlanta.
remember his name either.
Yeah. I can't remember, but I know that face though. I know that face. I like this comment, mindfulness of scalability, because I want to pivot because I know my audience. Avery, this is where a lot of churches fail. And it burns me so much because the churches get centered around the pastor, which stunts that local assembly because nothing can be done without pastor. I would go to leadership, be like, hey, I want to do A, B, C, D. Okay, I gotta go talk to pastor. Even though I gotta go talk to pastor. And so now you stunt the creativity of your team, and it's gonna be hard to scale. And then what I would see that pastor doing is fussing. Y'all are not working and we're not growing. And well, the people don't have the room to grow because everything stops and start with you. And so I want to talk to pastors, parents, everybody. Your organization, your family should not start and stop with you. Now, I want to say this really quick because I don't want to mislead anybody. In the beginning, it is because you're literally creating from your heart, from your passion, from that thing that was put in you. So when you first start, it's really going to be all about you. Even if you check all the dots and cross all the T's, you're going to be operating off of that. But you can't get stuck there. You got to be able to pivot. And I think, Avery, that's where a lot of startups and businesses fall out because they get stuck there. And when the shine is off, they're like, oh, well, we're done. It didn't work when you could have pivoted. So that's that
And
on that.
going back to the church analogy, I'm a church boy myself, but so many of us, some churches, so many of us are in the ministry of the pastor instead of the
Mm.
ministry of Jesus.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what a lot of us are feeling.
Yeah.
We don't know how to minister outside these walls. And when I say
Right.
this book can apply to churches and evangelism, different things,
Mhm.
because the audience of 20 years ago is totally different for churches. I'm going to use
Absolutely.
Jamal Bryant. This was a
Yeah.
controversial statement he said a few years ago in the media. I understood it. He talked about, most of you might have heard him saying, hey, maybe we need to consider a weed farm. And, the
Yeah.
church
Yeah.
community went up in arms. I
Yeah.
remember that. And I was like,
All right.
wait a minute, let me sit back and think what he's really saying before I'm like, thus saith the Lord. I'm like, you know
Right.
what?
It made
If you
sense.
grew weed, sold the weed, and legal, what kind of men would you be bringing and hearing the truth? And my
Mhm.
mother would always say, you plant the seed and let God do the ministry and different things. But
Mhm.
sometimes, again, churches, we try to come in as that hero complex again. There it goes
Right.
again. It's like, I got
Right.
to save your soul, but we're not
Yeah.
providing the nourishment so they can get full on their own. And that's a
Absolutely.
personal sense. But
Absolutely. Before we keep on going, I want to do this. If you want to purchase Avery's book, I wish I'm so out of order. It's somewhere around here. Y'all pray for me. I took my medicine late today. But if you want to purchase Avery's book, there is the QR code. As well, there is a link in the video description, okay? So if you're watching this on your TV or on your computer, go ahead and scan that code. It's going to take you to Amazon and support this. When you buy this book, you are directly supporting this a Black entrepreneur and founder of was it Corrective Strategies, right? Correct Strategies.
Correct strategies. And just let me add, if you're not a fan of Amazon, some will not purchase from Amazon. The book can be purchased online at Walmart or Barnes and Noble. And there's some other small platforms, but I don't know much about some of those small platforms, but these are the major platforms if you choose not to do Amazon. Amazon is the preferred, but we do have options: hardback, Kindle, and paperback.
Absolutely. So scan that. If you cannot scan, the links are in the video description as well. If you want a consultation, this is Avery McDougle's full-time job. He started a company where he consults. He's done some pretty big marketing projects too. I know that personally. So if you want a consultation with him, click the link to his LinkedIn and reach out to him. As well, if I'm correct, his email address is in the video description. If it's not, we will put it in there before the end of this show. So you can reach out to him and then let him know that you found him from Safe Space, all right? So he can treat you with that good old Southern Atlanta hospitality, all right? Let him know you found him from Safe Space. Let's keep on going. Something that I think is interesting, Avery, we talked about the church, but I don't want to just leave it at the church. How can I, as a person, keep my business relevant? Here we go. You keep the business relevant by keeping your ear to the needs of the people that's servicing or connected to you. So, just because 2 years ago, the solution or the need of your base was this, don't mean it's that now. And so I think a lot of times, Avery, that's why it seems like spiritual spaces are so far beyond the power curve, because it's like we got our ears to the heart of Jesus and not the heart of the people following Jesus. And so we don't know how to properly serve. And so what I want to encourage you is that if you are running a business, you must check in with your base at least. What do you say? How often should you check in with your base, Avery?
I'm for like 2 to 3 times a year. Some people say once a year, but that twice. You want that base connection to feel connected. You don't want it to feel like, here's the politician, they want something, let's do it again. But here's something I can add in checking in the base. As a leader, it does not just have to be you. I really prefer, if I grow lieutenants in a sense, put them out in the field and let them know, because you'll get honest answers. I'm an HOA president of my community. Some people don't even know I'm an HOA president of the community, but that was by design. I don't put my face on it, so I can walk the neighborhood, talk, and find out the issue before they even realize. And I was like, oh, I'm the HOA president. Someone's like, oh, you're the guy. I was like, no, it's my management company. But it's so very important to build your thought thinking, your business on some of your lieutenants, because they can help get you farther than you can as the business owner or the strategist. But at least twice a year at the minimum. One can be very minimal, and one touch point can be much more detailed.
Right. Two things, because I'm gonna say this, and then let's segue into brand advocates, which is extremely important. One of the things I did, and I probably should say this more to my greater audience, is I have a team of 9, 10, 11, 12, something like that, of Black women that have supported this platform. And I literally will say, all right, talk to me, what y'all got? And so, believe it or not, the pre-interview where I'm commenting anything, that came from them. They said, okay, why don't you, if you want to start doing pre-interviews, be in the comments and talking to keep that community effect. And so they also said that I need to start going live in the YouTube private community, and I'm coming, guys. The reason why I do that, oh, let me say this. I'm going too fast. And the reason why I have been comfortable taking my break is because that base said to me, take your time. Whenever you're ready, we'll be here to support you. And so I just wasn't willy-nilly freeing like, oh, I'll get back when I get back. My Black woman advisory team said, take your time, and when you're ready, come back and we're going to support you. So I'm saying that so that you can know this isn't just talk. You really got to keep your ear on the ground to your strong base. Now, something I want to I want to expose the audience to is this term brand advocate, and how that is one of the most, if not the most effective tool with getting your product, business, solution, platform content out there. Can you talk about that, Avery?
And what role do you want me to kind of talk about that? I'm listening and looking at you. As you can say, brand advocacy is very important, but it's always tough. Like, how do we define brand advocacy? Okay, so
in context to the person that has their problem solved, and you've serviced them so well that they don't mind sharing with other people what your product.
Perfect. It's all about touch points. You talked about it earlier with your community waiting. Some brands do it too much. I don't know if you guys agree with me. Like, if I see another ad for XYZ, if Safe Space is again, like, he's putting out content as quick as I can put my drawers on, excuse the colloquial, you start to tune out. But even with your brand advocates, really seek ones that could be authentic, and you could feed your brand advocates information. For instance, if I have a friend of Safe Space, a friend of whatever your business, every now and then, make it easy for them. Get a touch point. I love this because such XYZ Safe Space did this for me, because we're busy as brand advocates. We love the product, but we don't know what to say. And so as you start developing relationships, don't let your brand advocate relationship be transactional. What do you mean by that? Okay, you brought a product, you supported me once, thank you, bye. But how can I keep my brand advocate, the people that buy my product or talk to me, how can I keep the relationship going? Do I email them every blue moon? Hey, how you doing? I'm not asking for $10, $20, checking in. How's the product working for you? Or do you have, if it's a church space, do you have any questions about this or that? Because now you're developing really true brand loyalists instead of just brand advocates. And brand loyalists, to me, are just more important. So time to time, share this on social. Safe Space allowed me to think more clearly. It stopped me from suicide or something of that nature. But you're feeding those tools to your brand advocate, then it becomes more realistic. No, you're not sending out, and I'm giving you an example. A lot of politicians, when something happens, they say, write your congressman and here's the letter. But then your congressman gets the 50 of the same letters. That dilutes your message. But if I can get similar but different tailored messages to some of my brand advocates, it will go a long way, and people start trusting your brand more versus they're saying the same thing. Oh, they're just happy. And guess what? Even if someone may not be as excited in your brand, you can still use them. You could say, hey, I didn't like this product. If you came on as a solopreneur and said, thank you, I understand, we're shifting this, that says a whole lot, because too many times, especially in our online space, someone makes a negative comment, going back to what you started off with, how dare they say that, who screwed them, I'm blocking them. But it shows a level of maturity where you can even talk about your distractors and the people that love your brand. So your brand advocacy have to be true, authentic people. Be careful who you choose to have as your brand advocacy. If someone's always in mess online, they say, you love my product, but you're not the person to represent my brand.
No, absolutely. So let's drop some more gems. Okay. How do I build my platform, especially if I'm starting out and I do not have a marketing budget, or I don't have a lot of money for marketing budget? Number one, You have to take your passion. All right, here we go. Take your passion and create a solution by way of your passion and your purpose. So I'm purposed to do this and I'm passionate about it. Then, hooray, you and everybody else, life goes on. So then number one, that's that. Number two, now what kind of problem can I solve with my passion? Because that's what I'm purposed to do. Solve the problem with my passion, all right? Now, if you do that authentically, properly, consistently, you will build brand advocates. Girl, you hear about so-and-so over there? But then if you continue to massage that relationship, you will build top-tier brand loyalists. Now, the brand loyalist is the person that when you put out a book, they buying it. When you open up a new paywall in your community, they upgrading to it. If you need 10 people to send $10, they're sending it. But you know what that takes? That takes humility or extreme narcissism. And let me tell you what I mean by that. You gotta, let's use our words, minister to people. You gotta see the people as valuable. But if you're just trying to find ponds to collect your numbers, you're not going to solve as much problems as you should. So this is a surefire way to build your platform person by person. But I only have 2 people that come watch me live. You better lick them 2 people up one side down the other. Give them your personal cell phone number. Oh, go ahead.
Add to that, we can't compare ourselves to other people's success. And I'm going to share personal as I built my brand. And I wrote a post and a gentleman hit me up and said, I've been watching your platform. I've been watching you. I've never commented on it, but keep going and keep pushing and different things. And I was like, wow, you never know the seed you're planting, even though, I might not have the 100 followers, but for that one person to say, I'm watching your journey. And so that told me like, hey, as long as I'm being consistent, as you say, being true to myself, my story, and we all have those moments. You had that moments like, no, I'm ready to give this up. This is not working for me. But just that reminder, that seed is saying, I'm touching people without knowing I'm being touched. And so I can't compare myself to the big business girls of the market because hey, they had to start somewhere. I can't compare myself to Joel Osteen, but I can compare myself to Avery McDougle and how Avery will succeed, and success is not measured in numbers.
I love, man. I tell you what, there's a new, I'm a newfound lover of quartet music. Okay. I'm late to the game. And so there's this young group called DJ Allen and Righteous. I don't know. It's just something about them young boys. They sing, what's that song? I can't forget. I forget the song now. And I was sitting there early this morning, 4 or 5 a.m., looking at them on YouTube. And I said to myself, I wonder how many me's are watching me and I don't know it. Because here I am, I'm not even in their market. I don't go to church. I don't serve their God, but I love their music. And I said to myself, I wonder how many me's are watching me, and I will never know they're watching me. And so you can, oh my God, do not hate on where you're at. Somebody is eating off your table and you don't even know it. And don't do that. Honor where you're at. Now, yes, Walt, you're right. Lick the people. And you can. Okay, let me get off that.
I don't know if that was a misspelling or right.
No. I said what I said. Lick them. But honestly, you gotta be able to get down. I made a phone call yesterday, Avery, and I'm saying this not to toot my own horn, and maybe I am. Whatever, it's my platform. But I made a phone call yesterday, and I was spoken to somebody I hadn't heard from in a while. And I said to them, hey, I'm here if you need me. And I don't care if you're still in the community or not. You matter to me. And I meant that. I meant that with all my heart. You gotta be able to recognize the people that hold you down. And you gotta make sure you lock in with them, because those are the people that will help you carry your business to the next level. But if you're so locked into what vain metrics and numbers and virality, you're going to miss the true foundation of what you can get to Coca-Cola or Apple or whatnot. So that's important. That's important.
And and going back to the statement, knowing yourself. I'm gonna use myself. I'm used to being the guy behind the scenes, creating the campaigns, turn it over, boom, boom, boom. No one sees Avery, knows who Avery is. So this is a new territory for me of stepping outside the lens of being in the front where, getting a little shy. Then a friend was like, you know this stuff. You've been doing it for years and different things.
Right.
Even how we got on this platform, it's amazing how conversation can lead to something. Our conversation didn't start, hey, I need to be on.
Uh-oh. You froze up, buddy. Maybe it's just my end. Hello? Jesus is my rock. Jesus is my rock. Oh, Lord. Is he froze up on y'all's end? Okay, it is frozen. Okay. It's frozen. All right, I think you're coming back. You're coming back now. Jesus is my rock. I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. I need to go get his book out of my room anyway. Let's go to a quick commercial break. Hopefully by then, we'll be unfrozen, and then we'll continue the conversation.
Am I still frozen?
Yeah, you're still frozen. We're going to go on a commercial break real quick. Maybe you'll come out of it by then. We'll be right back. Hallelujah.
Safe Space, refuge for growth and healing. Want to be connected to all that Safe Space has to offer? Join our email community. Stay in the loop with inspirational insights and updates. Join our email community and connect with like-minded individuals on the path to self-discovery. Sign up now.
Find your tribe in a safe, supportive space. Join the Safe Space private community and connect with others who get it. We're waiting for you. Stay connected wherever you are with lives and video drops. Text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658 for instant updates and powerful insights. Join the text community now. Curious about what's next? Book an intuitive tarot reading with VTerrillHill and get the clarity you need. Your future awaits. Heal from within and transform your life. Schedule a soul healing consultation and take the first step towards wholeness. Start your journey today.
Click the Linktree link inside of the description box connected to this video for all of what the Safe Space universe has to offer.
Oh, Lord. Hold on. Was I gone that long? You're still frozen too, Avery.
Still frozen? Do I need to come back in?
Yeah, come out and come back in. Come out and come back in. Okay. Oh my God. Hold on. We're gonna let Avery get himself together. Let's talk real quick, y'all. Y'all pray for me, man. When I tell you I am out of order, I am so out of order. I can't find the goddamn book. Anyway, we're gonna let Avery come back. Hey, how y'all been doing nonetheless? If you're enjoying this conversation, drop 3 green hearts in the comments while we wait on Avery to come back. And I y'all pray for my mind, bro. Pray for my mind. I'm gonna come live tonight in the private community. I gotta take a nap. Tonight, I'm coming live in the private community, the 299 community, so we can have a family chat and whatnot. Okay, good. All right, good. Hey, Fran Drew, how you doing? Now, while we're waiting on Avery to come back, I do want to say this, y'all. Here is the QR code to purchase his book, Stop Marketing Like Your Audience is White. I'm telling you, it is a great book. If you want to purchase it and you can't scan it, the link is in the video description box of this video. And please purchase it and support Avery. He is a Black American business owner. And he is not just a rando. He has been in the marketing space for 18 years, and he has campaigns all over America. Let's see here. I'm back if you can see me. I can't see you, bud. I can't see you. So I don't know what is your camera on? Make sure your camera is on. I really hate it because we were just about to get started real good, even though we've been on here for 2 hours. Also, he does consultations as well. His LinkedIn is in the video description box, so please check him out as well, y'all. All of his information is in there. Let me see here. Let me see. Connect with Avery McDougle, his LinkedIn, and get the book here. Okay, I'm going to put his email address in this before this is over with. It looks like we've lost him here. I'm in the studio. Do you have to put me in? No, it's I don't see your video. Let me see here. Let me see. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, well, we can't see you though.
Can't see.
We can't see. We can hear you, but we can't see you. Hey, Mariah, how you doing? Jesus is my rock. Jesus is my rock. Y'all, I love that song. Talk about it, DJ. Oh my God. All right, Avery, I tell you what. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you fine. I can
Okay,
see you
all right.
too.
Okay, good, because yeah, we can't see you, but that's okay. I tell you what, go ahead and give us some final words, man, and let us know how we can reach you and whatnot. And I really want to, I said this, y'all, and I really want to do this. I really want Avery to condense all that he know into a mini series, and then have something inside of the private community so he can chat, because Avery, I only know him personally, but he has been a wealth of knowledge. So Avery, give us some last words, brother. Are you there? Lord, he ain't there.
Proving work that does.
Oh, there you go.
I'm
All
not
right, go
here no
ahead.
more.
Yeah, you good. You good. Go ahead.
The visual too, or just the hearing?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So, like I said, representation is not just being in the room, it's about what happens when we're in the room. So if we're still approving work that doesn't reflect our communities, that's where we're part of the breakdown too. So we can be a part of the breakdown. In this book, I also developed a discussion guide that you could use. I developed a worksheet. So if you are a business owner, if you're a ministry, you can go to the worksheet and say, am I doing this? Have we thought about this? So it gives you a step-by-step guide. This book is just not for you to give you knowledge. This book is to move you to action. We have a section that says, do the damn work. So the book is teaching you how to do the work.
You good? Go ahead. Did we lose him again? Golly.
Lost it again?
Yeah, I hate this.
Can you hear me? No?
I can hear you now. All right, you good now.
Did you hear that last statement about the guide?
You said the last thing we heard was do the damn work.
Okay, well, with the do the damn work, I said it's a guide. So if you're not a marketer, if you understand marketing, you have the tools that you can say, hey, am I doing this for my program, my business? What do I need to do to move forward? So this gives you those steps. So it's not a book for you just to read to get the knowledge. It's a book to give you tools that you can move your business, whatever it may be. In business, it could be a ministry, it could be something individual in your life that you're trying to get your thought leadership outbred. You will get those steps to help you move forward. And it doesn't cost you anything to get.
Lord, he gone again. The devil's so busy. Avery, you can't be so wordy, brother, because you're going out. Yeah.
Okay, here's the end. Buy the book. That's it. Simple.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you. And we're going to have you back again, man. For sure, for sure.
And I'll work on that. So, and if you said info@correctstrategies.com and prove that you are joined the safe space, then we'll make sure you get a copy of this book.
Absolutely. Did you hear that? Okay. I'm going to put that email address as soon as this live is over. All right. Celeste says, thank you, Avery. All right.
Welcome,
thank you.
Celeste.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to holler at you once we get off this live, brother. Let's go now. Y'all, okay. Walt says this was dope, Avery. Wasn't it dope, y'all? I really enjoyed this. Let me ask y'all a question real quick before we go, because we're about to get out of here. It's been 2 hours and 10 minutes. Jesus Christ. Should I do a let me see. Should I go live publicly tonight or private in the $2.99 tonight? Because I feel like I want to do a very candid video on where I've been. You know, I don't know. Y'all let me know. If I do it candid, public, I probably do a pre-record. If I do it private, I'll probably go live. Frandrew says private. Okay. Mariah says private. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna come private. Let me say, what about somewhere between 9:30 and 10 o'clock tonight? We're gonna be live in the private community. Let's have an old family talk fireside chat. I haven't spoke to you all in a while. Thank you all so much for your patience. You have always been patient. Let me say this, and I mean this. Dance to the beat of your own drum and let everybody else figure out the rest. And I mean that. It is important that you maintain your own rhythm. Everyone has a rhythm and you must maintain it. One of the beautiful things about melody, 3-part melody, 4-part, whatever, right, is that it's different note, but same key, right? And so you might be in one note and I might be in another note, but as long as we are in the same key, it makes a beautiful sound. And so do not compare or contrast. Do not size you up to anyone but you, and you will be successful, point blank, period. Thank you so much for rocking with me. If you want to be notified when I come live, I ain't did this in so long. If you want to be notified when I come live, text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658. Text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658. If you enjoyed this platform today, if I can get 8 of you to send $10, it'll help us reach our goal. The Cash App is SafeSpaceVTH. The PayPal and Zelle is info@VTerrillHill.com, and the Venmo is @VTerrillHill. P.O. Box 221, Wissett, North Carolina 27377 is the P.O. Box. If you want to be a part of the live tonight between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, join the private community for $2.99. There's a join button if you're on YouTube, desktop, or laptop. Other than that, click the Linktree link in the video description box of the video you're watching now. I do have a spirituality and consciousness community called Sacred Space. Sacred Space. Thank you so much for sending that $10. If I can get 7 of you, we'll reach our goal. Sacred Space, and you can get there by going to www.joinsafespace.com. When I am not live on YouTube, I hardly ever miss a live in Sacred Space. So those that are a part of Sacred Space have been seeing me twice a week since 2026 came in. literally. So so just so you know, I do not go missing over there, but I am coming back on this side. Okay, I answer all emails, though slow. I do answer them. info@VTerrillHill.com. Okay, thank you so much. I can get 6 of you now, and we would have reached our goals. Man, I missed this. Hold on a second. This feels good. It's been so long. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, and comment. We are going places, and I appreciate you guys. Okay, I appreciate you guys a lot. Is that all my little thinky things? I think that's it. I am. Let me see. Thank you for supporting, AMAC. Thank you for supporting. Yes, more of this. Yes, ma'am, Miss Mariah LaRue. Yes, ma'am. No worries. We coming on around the bend. I want to say this for those of you guys that I started a 6-month program with individuals about 7 months ago. And I chose specific people to do one-on-one mentorship with because I wanted to see if it would work. And I cannot tell you how effective it has been. That has led me to broaden the door and open up. And I am going to be starting a mentorship program in the very, very near future, probably more than in June. Okay. And more information coming out about that soon. And what that's going to look like is it's going to be a group session once a week that's solely for us, and then a discussion board that we can talk with each other throughout the week, and then 1 hour session with me a month, one-on-one. And what we do is we set goals and then we meet those goals. One of my first participants in this started out wanting to start their business, and not only have they literally started the process, they're back in school and have completed a book, all in the 6 months, literally. And them going back to school is a part of their business plan. And so I'm telling you, you have no idea the power that we can create when we sit one-on-one. I am gifted to help people become the best version of themselves. And so keep an eye out. If you want to know what's going on, just keep an eye out. You can text the VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658. As well, I am about to start up. Okay, we're about to get going again, guys. Like, for real. We're literally about to get going again, all right? So I'm about to start up my email community. If you want to keep all things with VTerrillHill, then join my email community. It's absolutely free. I'm going to start putting out emails once, twice a week like used to. What we were before the great drop, we're going back to. So we're going back to, and I'm glad about that. So we are about to be a soul healing station that has a good time, do a little gossiping, but we're about to be a soul healing station over here in Safe Space Live and Safe Space TV. All right. If you feel displaced, if you feel like there is no one group for you to be in, this group is for you. We don't judge you. We're going to pick on you a little bit because that's what Black folks do. You know, you got to have a little tough skin, but nonetheless, welcome to Safe Space in advance. All right. Private community, $2.99 group. I will see y'all between 9:30 and 10 o'clock tonight. The rest of y'all, I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Y'all be all the way blessed. Bye. Hey, Basha.
Safe Space, refuge for growth and healing. Want to be connected to all that Safe Space has to offer? Join our email community. Stay in the loop with inspirational insights and updates. Join our email community and connect with like-minded individuals on the path to self-discovery. Sign up now.
Find your tribe in a safe, supportive space. Join the Safe Space private community and connect with others who get it. We're waiting for you. Stay connected wherever you are with lives and video drops. Text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658 for instant updates and powerful insights. Join the text community now. Curious about what's next? Book an intuitive tarot reading with VTerrillHill and get the clarity you need. Your future awaits. Heal from within and transform your life. Schedule a soul healing consultation and take the first step towards wholeness. Start your journey today.
Click the Linktree link inside of the description box connected to this video for all of what the Safe Space universe has to offer.